Next, we have the mind pillar again. We're going to talk about nootropics, or neurotropics, however you want to pronounce it. The idea of boosting your overall mental capacity and cognition. Now, I need to be clear. Nootropics only boost. They do not replace your own supplementation and ability to think. And everybody's neurochemistry is different. So I'm trying to preface this episode with those warnings in mind that just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and vice versa. Now, there are common supplements that work for pretty much everybody, but depending on how sensitive you are to caffeine, some of them might not actually work for you. And also if you're neurodivergent, it could also change because your neurochemistry is different as well. But this is a great opportunity for someone to maybe assess how they're thinking and express themselves in a new way. If maybe one supplement helps you remember better and you have ADHD and you keep forgetting things, that might be a huge game changer for you. It might not change the executive dysfunction or the focus aspect, but at the very least, you now remember better and you're able to do more things from it. Now, I'm not a neuroscientist, but I do dabble in the field of it. I've been interested in it since I was a teenager because I wanted to make myself operate at 100% every day. That was the motivation. I wanted to wake up that morning, take whatever supplements I needed, do my little exercise, meditation, and just operate at my fullest capacity. Do I do that? No. But am I closer to most people? Yes. I woke up today an hour later than I would like, but I feel very motivated. I felt pretty well rested. I think maybe I needed that extra rest. And now I've recorded tons of different content today for different channels. I've made a blog post. I've researched guests. I did all kinds of stuff that motivated me to keep going forward. And I took my nootropics today. I don't have very many right now, but I definitely have experience with a wide variety, and I wanted to get into that with you. And that gets to the next point. Experimentation is key. Again, everybody's neurochemistry is different. And depending on what you want from nootropics, that might be different. So one thing I kind of think about is the brain fog. That's kind of like the baseline. That's why people take caffeine, because their brain is kind of foggy. They're not thinking clearly. They want to have that clarity. And I had my roommate actually at one point try nootropics, and he didn't feel any difference, what he said. But I think there was a level of understanding of how you currently think, so you can have a baseline of what it actually is after taking supplements, because I know that they worked on him, but I don't think he realized the difference between just normal life with brain fog and normal life with clarity, because the brain fog could be caused by any kind of supplement loss, like not having enough minerals in your diet or electrolytes, for example, not having enough water, not having enough caffeine, not having enough sleep, sunlight, vitamins. So many different reasons why you might be deficient in something, which is why supplementation is a great way to help that. Nootropics are not a replacement for food or anything like that. And I definitely think that if you are already having a baseline issue, boosting is not going to help. Go ahead and get your foundation taken care of first. Get your nutrition in order, get your vitamins and minerals that you need, get your hydration in order, make sure you sleep enough. Then once you have those well-rounded, then you can go into boosting with nootropics. And so back to the roommate example, I think it helped him think more clearly and think more normal at a higher rate and ability to just get straight into it. There wasn't that brain fog slowing him down. And from what I talked to him about it, that's what it seemed like to me. Because that's what I experienced as well. At some point, some nootropics didn't really do much for me, but I definitely did feel like more myself, if that makes sense. It's not that they're going to make you like NZT from Limitless, super all-knowing, and be able to remember everything, recall everything. I wish that was the case, and hopefully maybe one day we'll have that. And I definitely would say that when I had a really optimized nootropic stack, which is a combination of supplements, I definitely felt way higher capacity than what I normally did before. But it gets kind of expensive at that kind of amount. So you really want to try to optimize your expenditure. So how much you're spending on these supplements, how many supplements you have to take, because that has to be a habit. Most supplements that you take from nootropics have to be taken consistently for them to work, like Bacopa, Mononori, I think is what the rest of the name is. But Bacopa is what most people know it as. That only works after you've compounded for a while. Ginkgo, for example, is another supplement that people take. It's technically a blood thinner, helps get blood flow to the brain, so it makes you a little bit more clear thinking and helps a little bit with memory, but it's a very light, I guess you could say, nootropic, and it doesn't need to be compounded, but I definitely think it helps once you have compounded it for a while. But Bacopa has to be compounded before you even feel it, so about a couple months before you really start feeling a difference, but I definitely did feel difference from it. The other thing would be like Chinese hanging moss, or Huperzine A, as it's officially known. That definitely helps with focus and memory. But the side effects too, some of these supplements could be an issue. So Chinese hanging moss, for example, can increase mucus production for whatever reason. And so that can actually make you more sniffly and have a more nose mucus, which can be really annoying and difficult. So it might not be worth taking that supplement. I think I've only had that issue a couple times when I've taken it. So normally I take it just fine. Next, you have maybe testosterone support. So you have more energy, which then in turn also can help with your brain. So many different ways you can go about it. And so what are stacks? Stacks are combinations of different supplements. The most basic combination I mentioned back in the previous Mind Pillar episode was caffeine and L-theanine. Caffeine being that normal booster that most people are addicted to, and L-theanine being a simple complex where it's from tea that helps you relax and just kind of induce focus by making you more calm. When you combine that with caffeine, it induces focus. And that's why tea often helps people not get jitters like they do with coffee. And so there's really this, and there's many ways like getting MCT oil and bulletproof coffee to help kind of have that same effect. And so it's just really fascinating the different combination you can do and how you go about boosting your mental prowess. And so I don't want to get this episode too long. How do you improve your mind pillar with nootropics? Well, you end up just helping yourself learn, helping yourself focus on your task, helping yourself maybe get to a new point in thinking. So what I mean by that is being able to think for a longer period of time, or having a more detailed or deep thinking session, which really pushes your brain to level up and help make new connections. That neurogenesis of new idea, like dendrites connecting together. It's fascinating to look at the chemistry of it, but that's not what this episode's about, and I need to learn more about it before I talk about it anyways. That is what I wanted to share to you today, just simple nootropics. Again, start off with basics. I would even avoid racetams for a while, just focus on, huperzine, bacopa, ginkgo, the basic stuff, and most of those are natural ones. I will say before we wrap up, I mainly experimented with natural supplements and stuff that just can be naturally grown, organic stuff. But I also did experiment with some synthetic stuff, and I had some decent effects from it. But most of those effects you can get from the organic stuff, which is a lot lighter load for you. And even just something simple as getting choline, acetylcholine supplements. And what is the precursor to that? I don't remember exactly, but you can get the precursor. Oh yeah, CoQ10. You get CoQ10 and choline, which gives you a baseline. It's kind of like the fuel for the brain. And just by having that can make a big difference in your overall brain fog and clarity. And then you can get the more accelerating stuff for cognition, stuff like that. Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns down below, go ahead and do your research first before buying anything. Cheers.